story plays out, I want to move on to the neighborhood. And Bangladesh has voted in one of the most crucial and consequential elections in its 5-decade history today. As we await the verdict, what grabbed the headlines was violence, chaos, there was arson and intimidation, there were fears of rigging that surfaced in multiple locations. Reports have also reinforced concerns about whether voters, particularly minority community voters, Hindu voters, were able to exercise their franchise freely. Former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who's in exile in India, has hit out at the elections. She says, and I quote, "Today's so-called election was essentially a carefully planned farce. A deceptive election was arranged without the Awami League and without voters. This farce began through the capture of polling centers, gunfire, the widespread use of money to buy voters, stamping ballot papers and taking agent signatures on result sheets."
In many ways, it's been a landmark election. It's an election which for the first time saw the absence of the Awami League and the missing Begums. Begum Sheikh Hasina, of course, in India, her party has been banned and was not a stakeholder at all. Begum Khalida Zia, of course, not alive, but her son, Tariq Anwar Zia, as he is called, is going to carry on the legacy. For him, it's a question of his political coronation. He's tried to establish the fact that he's someone who should appeal to the Gen Z. This is also being called the Gen Z election. Someone who would be able to bring about a moderate, reform-oriented, progressive Bangladesh. Bangladesh at this point of time requires foreign investment. It also needs a certain amount of reinstatement as far as its global imaging is concerned. With reports of lawlessness, political instability, attack on the minorities coming out, there has been dwindling foreign investment in the country. That's exactly what the Gen Z is holding its netas to ransom on. But on the other hand is what is perceived to be a more radical political party, the Jamaat. The Jamaat has tried to tone down this radicalism by talking about being inclusive. But the scar on the Bangladesh's recent past has been on the many incidents of attack on minorities, which has also led to a souring of relationship with India. This, apart from the fact that Sheikh Hasina continues to remain. One of the biggest challenges would be a resumption or warming up of the good ties between India and Bangladesh. And will it bring about political stability? Will it bring about economic development and that change and that growth which the Gen Z is looking for after a student uprising of last year?
Do you think that after these elections the new government will come in and it will be democracy will be back in your country?
I hope so, because Bangladesh National Party or BNP believes in democracy, and I think that he will try to protect democracy, and I hope that he will also protect secularism, women's rights, minority rights, human rights and freedom of expression.
Do you think the rise of Jamaat is a matter of concern in Bangladesh?
Of course, because Jamaat-e-Islami or Islamic Fundamentalist Party was the collaborator of Pakistani army in 1971 during our liberation war, and they helped Pakistani army to kill 3 million Bengali people and to rape 200,000 Bengali women. So when Bangladesh was born, really born, in 1971, at that time, our constitution, we created the constitution, which was a secular constitution. So we want to restore that constitution. If there is any democracy, whoever forms the government believes in democracy, then Awami League will be allowed to come to, the members who are forced to leave the country will be allowed to be back.
There was a lot of chaos, a lot of violence on the streets of Dhaka as well as in other hinterland parts of Bangladesh. In these visuals, you can see the Jamaat workers attempting to capture a booth. There's big concern, not just in Bangladesh, here in India as well, about what role the Jamaat will play, whether they will have votes enough to try and influence the results of the election, or whether they will play any kind of kingmaker role in a post-election scenario. But clearly you can see the Jamaat workers indulging in violence. This is an attempt to try and capture a booth that happened in Dhaka. Then there are visuals that we've got from Chattogram, which is again a big city in the south of Bangladesh. Here again, the BNP candidate's office has been set ablaze. The allegation that's been made again is against the Jamaat-e-Islami workers there in that area. So this election has primarily, politically speaking, is a fight between the BNP on the one side and the Jamaat on the other. There is also the newly formed NCP party of the students. I want to go across to Mr. Sajeeb Wazed. He's the son of the former Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina. Mr. Wazed, thank you very much for joining us. I'll come to the authenticity, the veracity, the neutrality of this election in 1 second. But I want your word first on, people are saying that, look, it's the BNP's election to win. And given what has happened in the last few months and weeks, the return of Tariq Rahman, the passing away of Khalida Zia, it seems like it's his election to win. And the Jamaat may or may not play the role of a kingmaker. What is your view on that?
No, of course, that is the truth. When you have the two largest parties, if one of them is barred from the elections, then of course it's an open field, it's an empty goal for the BNP. In any country, you end up having two major political parties. You have the Labour Party and the Tories in the UK. You have the Republicans and the Democrats in the US. In Bangladesh, you have the BNP and the Awami League. Between the two of us, we have 80% of the vote, and the Awami League is barred from elections. So naturally, it's most likely that the BNP would win because there is no real opposition.
There are concerns around the Jamaat that their views, their role in what happened in the liberation of Bangladesh, the fact that they were banned when your mother was the Prime Minister. How concerned should India, should people in Bangladesh itself be about the rise of the Jamaat? Even if they don't win, they could principally become the major opposition party in your country.
That is absolutely correct. You see, Jamaat has very little popular support in Bangladesh because of their role in our war of independence. They formed militias, which killed approximately 3 million of our people. So Jamaat has always been regarded as the Nazi party of Bangladesh. So Jamaat on its own in any fair election would only win 5-10 seats. But with the Awami League absent, and not just the Awami League, all progressive liberal parties in Bangladesh are essentially weren't allowed to campaign. Their offices have been burnt down. Their leaders are behind bars. So this was a stage-managed election to try to give the Jamaat an outsized number of seats in parliament, which they can never win through a vote.
What about this new students' party? I think it's called NCP. They have some kind of arrangement with the Jamaat. I don't know exactly what that arrangement is, but they rode on what they claim was popular anger against your mother while she was in office. But now they seem to be either relegated to third position or they come across as opportunists who are not able to, if there was political wind behind their sails, they should be the party that everybody in Bangladesh is talking about.
It's not that easy to just start a new political party and have popularity. You have each party, each of us has been there for decades, Awami League since before independence. The student party, they were polling at 2%, and you're exactly right. They have absolutely no popular support. They became a mob. Last 1.5 years, you've had mob violence perpetrated by them. Their representatives who took part in this government became thoroughly corrupt, and they got discredited very quickly. So, yeah, they have no popularity. That's why they jumped onto Jamaat's coattails. They're essentially Islamists as well.
What happens to the Awami League, the future of the Awami League? Your leader, the former Prime Minister, is in exile here in India. Your workers have been hounded out. Their homes have been burned. Basically, your workers have been threatened and intimidated. What happens? I mean, does the Awami League now sort of cease to exist as a political party, as a political movement in your country?
Not at all. Not at all. What people forget is that the 16 years of the Awami League government, we had the best economic development and infrastructure development in the history of Bangladesh. We had the best security, a safe country. We had a complete stop to terrorism. And it's going to be very soon that the people of Bangladesh start to miss that, because no other government in the history of Bangladesh was able to provide that. And Awami League, again, there is a love for the Awami League that has lasted. You have 120 million voters. Awami League has historically received 40% of the vote, which is 50, 60 million voters. they're not going anywhere. You don't change the minds of 50 million people overnight. And they have an affection for the Awami League because we led the independence movement. And if you look at the coup of 1975, it was a much worse situation. All our senior leaders were killed, and the party had sort of dissipated, but the party never went anywhere. Awami League is still in Bangladesh. It will come back.
What would your outlook be towards Tariq Rahman if the BNP wins and if he goes on to become the next prime minister? Will there be some kind of reach out to him?
BNP is the major opposition party. Of course, we have to reach out to them. But right now, all our activity is banned. We're not even allowed to conduct a meeting with anyone. Anyone who tries to conduct a meeting within Bangladesh is arrested. Our party offices have been burnt down. We have tens of thousands of activists and most of our senior leaders either behind bars or they had to flee the country to save their own lives. So right now, we have no opportunity to even engage with anyone on anything.
Okay, and one final word, again, this is coming in from an India point of view. The last time the BNP was in power, and I believe they were in coalition with the Jamaat in 2005 to 2008-9, India had problems with that government. Do you reckon that's a thing of the past and things will change now? There might be a better relationship between the BNP and the BJP government here?
Well, that remains to be seen, but the main reason the relationship deteriorated is BNP has always been more allied towards Pakistan, and more importantly, Jamaat has always let the terrorists have a free rein. So you've seen that in the last year and a half. As soon as this regime came to power, they released all convicted terrorists from prison, including the killers of bloggers, including the killers of American Embassy staff member and the perpetrators of the Holy Artisan bakery attack in 2016, which killed foreigners in Bangladesh. And you've had Lashkar-e-Taliban commanders speak at public rallies in Bangladesh in the last year and a half. You've had Houthi holding open rallies. So with Jamaat having an outsized influence in parliament, regardless of whether BNP is in government or not, I think you are going to see this continue, this terrorist activity, and this is going to be a problem for India.
All right, Mr. Sajeeb Wazed, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate you joining us here on CNN News 18. Thank you.